But Frank got the chance to get a decision because Tank gave away rounds a little bit, and he looked for his big shots. But
Kermel Moton has paid Gervonta Davis back for his disrespect to Floyd Mayweather and has left him to support Frank Martin ahead of their fight.
I know you fought Tank early on. Yeah. What was that experience like? Like, replay that experience for me. Like, you coming out of it, what was your thought?
Yeah, I was nervous at first. I think I was 15 at the time.
He wasn't only foreseeing a close win for Frank Martin, but he predicted a merciless and brutal beating of Gervonta Davis. Finally, Gervonta Davis has gotten to a point where Floyd Mayweather and all of his allies are going against him in a fight.
I don't really know. I'm leaning towards Tank though for the win.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great fight. Both skillful guys. I'm leaning towards Tank.
Well, if you believe Tank Davis caused all of this, you're probably right, as the latest to turn his back against Gervonta Davis is 17-year-old Curmel Moton. Kermel Moton, who shares a similar path with Gervonta Davis and has been dubbed the next Floyd Mayweather, has no other reason than the fact that Gervonta Davis disrespected his own mentor, Floyd Mayweather. Shockingly, that wasn't all. It was way more complicated than the feud between Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Davis. The altercation between Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Tank Davis got intense after the boxing legend shared a video on social media criticizing young boxers of this generation. Floyd Mayweather questioned the focus of these boxers and how their passion is more about the money than boxing.
Love to bring you in. Only because I know for like the longest Tank has had an issue with fight hype, with me. I was like, bro,
pull him in. Pull him in. Hold on.
I don't know.
The athlete argued that they're only looking at the finished product of who he is as inspiration, not the work he put in to get there. A lot of times what these fighters are looking at, they're looking at Floyd with the cars, they're looking at Floyd being flashy, Mayweather expressed. Man, listen, I made so many sacrifices, you all are looking at the end results. And when I was champion having hundreds of millions in the bank, I still was on my grind in that gym. You all are worried about your outfits, how your boots look, worried about the wrong things. A lot of you fighters are living check to check.
How do I do it? You gotta do
I think
it.
I gotta
pull
do
him
it.
in.
I don't know if he's still on here. Hold on, I gotta find him. He might have bounced. You know, Tank be bouncing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it's okay.
Davis, however, took his words as subliminals, aimed at him, and responded. Gervonta went to Instagram to rip into his former mentor. He asserted that Mayweather shouldn't be worried about him and should be focused on escaping an alleged hostage situation in Dubai. He reposted Floyd's rant and began his brief attack. Guy says all this nonsense, but he's in Dubai and can't leave because he's been taking guys' money and not doing what they paid him to do. The guy is a freaking hater, Davis typed in response. Floyd then shot back on Friday, April 26th, the very next day after his initial video. The acclaimed boxer posted several videos alleging that the boxer had a little sugar in his tank. The videos found Gervonta dancing on TikTok and Instagram to Lil Uzi Vert's I Just Wanna Rock and Drake's Thank Me Now. This led to some more back and forth between the boxing legend and his former protege. Tank Davis then took law into his hands after Floyd Mayweather released a nasty dancing video of Gervonta Davis, with Tank Davis issuing a threat to physically confront his former mentor, indicating a desire to knock Mayweather out upon their next encounter. Things actually took a turn for the worse after Davis threatened to knock out his former mentor. Now I go around and knock Floyd out when I see him, and I'll care about going back to jail, Davis wrote on X in reference to the 90-day jail sentence he received after violating the terms of his home detention for a hit-and-run crash in November 2020. He's such a fool. He doesn't allow his security to carry guns. In fact, after a press conference to promote his fight against Frank Martin, Davis responded, "Me and Floyd? A beatdown," Davis responded. While it is highly unlikely that Mayweather and Davis will face each other, given their significant age difference, and however the disrespect wasn't only at Floyd Mayweather, as Gervonta Davis had also fired shots at Kermel Moton and had stopped him from getting a fight at what would have been the biggest night of his growing career. But before we got there, Kermel Moton fired back and predicted a win for Frank Martin instead, even when he initially inclined towards Gervonta Davis.
What was it like when you sparred him? I know you sparred Tank early on.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Like replay that experience for me. Like you coming out of it. What was your thought?
Yeah, I was nervous at first. I think I was 15 at the time we sparred, so he wasn't really like trying to knock me out or nothing like that. But we was going like, he was using the speed on me. Like we was both like going speed for speed, and it was great.
He was asked in a virtual interview about the fight this weekend between Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin. He responded, "It's going to be a great fight. Both are skillful guys. I'm leaning towards Tank only because Frank Martin didn't really have the experience, like boxing when he was young. And I feel like that's really important, like with boxers. That experience, that's like the most important thing." He further explained, "You could be boxing like if somebody started boxing when he was 6 and they only boxed for 4 years. Somebody started at 17 and they boxed for years. The dude that boxed when he was younger is going to be better because it's just like you when you're young." He then claimed, "So I feel like Tank is gonna, I don't know if he'll knock Frank out. Frank is a dog. I don't know. Both of the guys, they're not just gonna go out like that. So I feel like if it does end early, it'll be in Tank's favor. But Frank has the chance to get the decision because Tank gives away rounds a little bit. He looks for his big shots. I don't really know. I'm leaning towards Tank for the win."
Experience like boxing when he was young, and I feel like that's real important. Like with boxers, that's like that experience. That's like the most important. Even like you could be boxing like somebody if they started that when they was 6.
Finally, Frank Martin hinted once more how he would have loved to be in the undercard of this weekend's fight. However, he was denied the opportunity by Gervonta Tank Davis. "Yes, that's a huge card. I love to be a part of it. I'd love to be a part of all the big pay-per-view cards. However, it's absolutely sure we'll not fight on the Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin undercard." The June 15th event at the MGM Grand Arena, co-headlined by David Benavidez and Alexander Gvozdik's lightweight clash, is the year's second PBC Amazon Prime feature. Moton incidentally fought his third professional bout on March 30th, the inaugural show under the newly established partnership between Al Heyman's Promotions and the paid subscription giant. All of these came up after Curmel Moton shared a collage of pictures with his fans and followers featuring him and Floyd Mayweather Jr. training at the gym. Another shot showed the undefeated former world champion assisting Moton in putting on his gloves. Kermel Moton seemed clearly elated by the support and guidance he has been receiving from one of boxing's greatest. He wrote, "Best team in boxing." But soon he received a response from Gervonta Davis, now Abdul Wahid, as the World Boxing Association lightweight champion said, "Yo idiot won't be on the June 15th card either." Typically, many would question why he would have said that. Well, it seemed Kermel Moton shared some information regarding his next fight. "Unfortunately, I will not be fighting next weekend on the 4th. I appreciate all of your support, except me back in June. I promise to put on a show," said Moton. Evidently, Kermel Moton was hinting at featuring in the June 15th Gervonta Davis, now Abdul Wahid Frank Martin, undercard. Sadly, the reasons for this not happening remain unclear. But the young prodigy's response to a user who insinuated whether Gervonta Davis caused the exit resulted in a scathing response from the lightweight champion. So why should it perturb Tank so much? The general perception seems that it might have happened because of Moton's close proximity to mentor and guide Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Didn't believe, but then when it happened, they believed, then all the jealousy came. So I'm proud of you, and I'm pretty sure they got a few questions for you. Come on up.
Okay.
So,
the lightweight champion and the money are currently engaged in a much publicized online spat. Gervonta Davis firing back at Kermel Moton today, wrote Michael Benson. The screen grab shows a sequence of conversations. So responding to a tweet that displayed the entire card of the Gervonta Davis and David Benavidez twin main event, a user commented, "Bro, Tank really kicked out the Curmel Moton of the card?" Kermel Moton replied that he had another show in hand. B would share the details sometime later.
I'm leaning towards Tank only because Frank, he didn't really have the experience like boxing when he was young, and I feel like that's real important. Like with boxers, that's like that experience.
Hence, he asked everyone to watch this space for more. But soon, a response from Gervonta Davis appeared. Next time, be a man of your own, lil clown dumbhead guy. Don't forget the reason why you are throwing up that ape stuff, said the Baltimorean.
Unbelievable performance. I'm proud of him. We got Kermel. We got some more young fighters up and coming. But tonight was his night. And then it's going to be another young fighter night. But we're happy with the victory. Going to keep moving. Good experience today.
The message from Tank seems to have been deleted. The post from the user who checked whether Gervonta Davis had booted out Kermel Moton had received a few responses. It might help those looking for hints. A user said, "Kermel, guy don't flow with Mayweather LMAO." Another added, "Kermel also said that Tank should be focused on Frank instead of a 17-year-old himself." So basically, Kermel tried to jump in between Tank and Floyd, back and forth, and picked a side. Fans could go back to the later part of April this year. Kermel had shared a montage of photos through his X handle. It featured him training alongside Floyd Mayweather Jr. and their interactions.
Like I said, we got a crazy team. Right. A crazy team that believe in, we all believe in each other, we all stick together, and we're a family. We in this for the fighters to win. We want the fighters to make a ton of money. So the ultimate goal is...
The young prodigy wrote, "Best team in boxing," but it soon received a response from Gervonta Davis. He said, "Yo head won't be on the June 15th card either." Earlier, Kermel Moton had trolled Gervonta Davis by claiming he's fought the very best in his first 3 fights, giving all his first 3 opponents their very first defeat. Well, this can't be said of Tank Davis, who fought worse fighters in his early fights. As a result, Kermel Moton sure used that against Tank. He tweeted a picture of his records alongside the caption, "Your FAV fighter was fighting bums with multiple losses in the first 3 fights. Future GOAT, bookmark and roast me if I'm wrong. See ya in a few years." In his young career, Kermel Moton has fought Ezequiel Flores, Hunter Turbeyfield, and Anthony Cuba. While he won his first 2 matches by technical knockout, he saw his most recent match get decided by the scorecards, where he bagged a unanimous decision victory. But what's notable is that Ezequiel Flores, his first opponent, had 4 wins and 0 losses until Moton handed him his first loss. Also, Hunter Turbeyfield had 3 wins and 0 losses until Kermel Moton gave him his first loss. And his most recent opponent, who's the most experienced on the list, had 7 wins and a loss before Moton gave him another. But this can't be said of Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis made his debut at the age of 18 on February 22nd, 2013 against Desi Williams, who had a professional record of 0 wins and 4 losses, all by stoppage. Just like how way back in 2015 they took up a young Gervonta Davis's responsibility, nurturing him and taking him to world championship level, Team Mayweather took up the cause of another bright prodigy. And it's sad how the relationship between Gervonta Davis and Kermel Moton has become, as Kermel Moton has always admired and modeled after Gervonta Davis, once according him the respect of watching out for him in his early days. A while ago, a user posted 9-year-old Kermel Moton sparring with 10-year-old Robert Merriweather back in 2015, with Floyd Mayweather in the other ring shadowboxing. This caption set the stage, suggesting the legendary Floyd Mayweather's presence as a witness to the young talent's early endeavors. However, Kermel Moton, whose professional record now boasts 3 fights and 2 knockout victories, swiftly entered the fray to correct this narrative. Demonstrating his attentiveness to details, both in and out of the ring, Moton tweeted in response, "That's Tank, not Floyd." This concise yet impactful correction shifted the focus from Mayweather to Gervonta Davis, another prominent figure in the boxing world and a key figure in Mayweather's training camp.
How you feeling, bro? First round knockout.
Yeah, it's great. I like the pros. I'm feeling this. I feel like this for me.
You feel like you're made for it?
Yeah, this is for me.
Well, when are you ready to get back in there?
Hey, talk to the man right there.
Kermel once also sparred Davis and spoke very highly of their sparring session. In a revealing recollection, Kermel Moton reflected on a defining sparring session with Gervonta Davis, a memory that stands out in his early boxing journey. "I was nervous at first," Moton admitted, recalling the anticipation of facing Davis at just 15 years old. However, the encounter unfolded as a harmonious dance of agility rather than brute force. "But we was going like he was using the speed on me, like we were both going speed for speed," Moton described the session. Contrary to expectations, Davis didn't unleash his full power. "He wasn't really like trying to knock me out or nothing like that," Moton shared, likening the experience to a chess match, a strategic and intellectual exchange that proved to be both fun and profoundly instructive for the young boxer. Kermel Moton was barely 8 when he entered the Mayweather gym. Over the years under their tutelage, the Salt Lake City-born boxer sharpened his skills, which eventually saw him make an impressive amateur resume. Last year, September 30th was a watershed moment in his life as the world watched him fight as a professional. Kermel Moton exhibited class, skill, and a strong chin when he locked horns with Anthony Cuba in a clash of undefeated hot prospects at Tim Tissue vs. Sebastian Fundora Undercard. Despite fighting against a tough opponent, he sailed through, captivating fans with his slick style and has attracted the praises of many of them. Moton, age 17, faced an older opponent in Cuba who was 21 years old but outpointed him, ensuring he left the T-Mobile Arena on March 31st with his record intact. All judges' scorecards rate 80, 72 in favor of Moton, and he improved his record to 3-0. The Los Angeles native showed maturity beyond his age. This was the first time Moton had fought for 8 rounds, but he looked sharp and physically fit to fight over 8 rounds. Moreover, he didn't hesitate to bring the fight to Cuba and also didn't shy away from exchanging blows. He had been the aggressor since the first bell and maintained a high pace throughout the 8 rounds. In addition, Moton showed a strong chin as he ate 2 right from Cuba in round 7. However, he seemed unfazed, kept moving forward, and unloaded punches. Moton's left, combinations, and counterpunches did substantial damage and bagged him a unanimous win. Such an outing prompted fans to draw parallels with another boxer who has gained fame with his skills and heavy hitting. Still only age 17, Moton is ranked number 1 in Team USA with an astonishing 18 amateur titles to his name, and that's probably more than anyone else. Over the weekend, Kermel Moton fought the 3rd bout of his professional career against a much older and experienced Anthony Cuba, and after seeing it out to the scorecards, Moton emerged victorious. This was the first match that would be taking him to the scorecards. In his first 2 matches, he came out on top with knockout victories against his opponents. Coming from his most recent and most impressive triumph, Moton has been at the center of so much praise and support, with the most prominent one coming from his hero and the owner of the promotional team he is signed to, Floyd Mayweather Jr. After the bout, Mayweather was seen in an interview where he was asked questions about the bout between Anthony Cuba and Kermel Moton. He was also asked about Moton and the relationship they both shared. When asked in the interview about Moton's emphatic win, Mayweather said, "I'm not surprised. It's what we all planned for. Anyone who's seen Moton knows he's headed for the very top, and this is just along the way. I'm very proud of him. I discovered him long ago, and he's done some crazy stuff. At such a young age, he's bagged so many belts and won multiple amateur championships, and he's just getting better." Speaking about Moton's attitude, Mayweather also had much praise for him. "He's a humble lad as well. He keeps his head down. He's so dedicated and disciplined. You won't get anywhere if you don't keep your heads down. I told him this. He's just 3 fights in and he's got a long way to go. There's no reason to be proud. No one boasts about their amateur records. Only the pro records are considered, and he's still very low on that. So he's got to stay low key." When asked about their relationship and Moton being called the next Floyd Mayweather Jr., Money answered, "We've got a decent relationship. We promote him and run his bouts for him. But individually, we both have got a decent relationship too. We have been close since he started here, and I've mentored him closely, so we're good." However, Mayweather also had some more words of praise and encouragement for the teenager. "All I say to him is to keep firing, keep moving, and he's gonna get there. He can go as far as beating my record. He can do way more than I did. He's a great guy, and we saw that on Saturday. He's gonna explode the world with his boxing. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to this YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.